And we are going to talk about the boundary for ourselves, self-control. Now, it is very easy for all of us to see the ways that other people cross our boundaries. But when it comes to ourselves and the boundaries that we need to have for our own self-control, we are extremely lenient. And I think that's because deep down, we know what we want, and we don't want people to say no to us. We see something, we desire it, we want it, and we want it now. The truth, though, is that boundaries for ourselves and self-control is something that God desires for us. Proverbs 5:28 says, "Like a city whose walls are broken down is a man who lacks self-control." You see, self-control is a natural boundary that we give ourselves so that we can say, you know what, no further. I need to stop myself from doing and indulging in whatever I want. So tonight, we are actually going to learn from some of the mistakes and some of the strengths of self-control. So I'm going to call up my panel for tonight. If you could join us on stage. All right, so our topic tonight is self-control and the boundary of self-control. I want to introduce our panel first. So if you could tell us your name and one thing about you.
I'm Deirdre, and thank you. And I hate bananas.
Okay. The fruit that she does not like.
I'm Evan, and some people would say I'm pretty funny.
They would say what?
I'm pretty funny.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. So I'm just going to ask you a couple questions. First of all, if a lot of times we think of self-control in the areas of, relationships or physical boundaries and self-control. Tonight, we're not even talking about that. We're going to talk about areas that I think a lot of teenagers and even adults, they kind of think, not a big deal. It doesn't matter if I have self-control in these areas. So my question to you two is, out of these areas, what do you struggle with having self-control the most? Time management or finishing projects, money, speech, or healthy lifestyle choices?
For me, it would be time management and speech.
Okay.
Sadly, I'm both Thomas and Deborah, so I have problems with time management and lifestyle choices.
Okay, great. So, Deirdre, you answered that you have difficulty in controlling your speech. Why is that, do you think?
Well, when it comes to speech, I think girls have a lot of trouble with gossip. And a lot of times we don't even realize that what we're listening to or what we're hearing is gossip, so it's hard to know where that boundary is.
Okay, and have you experienced any consequences from maybe not having self-control in your speech or listening to gossip?
Yeah, probably the biggest consequence I think I've experienced is just missing out on getting to know really great people because of listening to things that I wasn't sure were true or things that I wasn't sure was true.
Okay, so Deirdre mentioned maybe there was friendships or things that, relationships that could have been really good, but because she listened to that maybe careless speech of someone else, she was hesitant to be in that friendship. Matthew 12:36 says, "But I tell you that men will have to give an account on the day of judgment for every careless word they have spoken." It's important that we understand that we are accountable for our speech. And so when we lack self-control in it, it affects other people, but ultimately it's sin against God. And we need to be held accountable. So it would be wise for us to start learning right now, how do I have self-control or the boundary in my speech to put a filter over the words I say? And some of you may be saying, well, how do I do that? A verse that was really helpful to me is Philippians 4:8, and it says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." A lot of times the things we say are the things that we have already thought. And so a way that we can have self-control in our speech is to ask, what I'm about to say, is it true? And sometimes that's the only category we use. We're like, well, it's true, so I'm going to say it. Well, is it beneficial? Is it helpful? Is it going to uplift the people around me? Those are questions we need to be asking also. So Evan, I noticed that you did not struggle with speech or having self-control in speech. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, in my opinion, I guess like with swearing, for instance, it kind of, in my opinion, is a way of getting attention that's demeaning to yourself. And you know, if you can't articulate yourself without swearing, then that's it's a poor way of going about talking to other people. You know, you have to think about what you say around different people. So if you talk to your friends at school in a way that you know, you gossip or you swear a lot just to kind of fit in, that kind of shows that you're a little you need to fit in, and that you're not very confident of who you are. So if somebody doesn't change the way they are and they say, you know what, I'm not going to gossip or I'm not going to swear around anybody, that just shows that you are adamant in what you believe in, that you don't really care about what the world thinks of you, I guess. But not in like a screw you kind of way, but in more of like you